Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gay Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition. In our last episode, we basically took some time learning the ropes of crafting, and we've kind of gone through everything that can be done within the limits of the town of Haven itself. So now we're going to go ahead inside the Chantry, take a look at whatever it is Cassandra needs from us, and then it looks like there's loading that needs to be done in the Chantry. So we'll just sit tight. Oh, we've got a cutscene. Oh gosh, that armor looks awesome. I'm glad we
Does it trouble
suited
you?
ourselves up. Not anymore. He's like, it's all good. You know, this pretty much is the YOLO symbol. This one is the, you know, really pragmatic and angry, you know, emo symbol. This one is tough. This one is I didn't close the breach. Empathic. Where does it come from? Okay. Not anymore. I didn't close the breach. It's fine. I want it gone. Where does it come from? Yeah, I think he's concerned about that.
If it wasn't enough to close the breach, what use is it?
You did everything we asked of you.
And it still didn't work.
What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Clearly, you have something in mind.
We do.
Okay. It's Josephine!
You've met Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition forces.
It was only for a moment on the field. I'm pleased you survived.
This is Lady Josephine Montelier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
You're even taller than I'd heard.
Oh, she's
and of
adorable.
Course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes.
Yes.
Tactfully put, Cassandra.
Oh gosh, I was gonna say, girl, Josephine, love the dress. The golden dress looks beautiful. Like, it just has. Oh gosh, the graphics in this game in general. My gosh, and she's so adorable. Josephine, her everything about her accent and her overall look. You know, her hair. She's cute. She's really cute. A pleasure, Liliana.
Pleased to meet you all.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet.
Oh yeah.
The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
Oh, she's so cute! I love you so much, Josephine!
They still think I'm guilty.
That is not the entirety of it any longer. Some are calling you, a Kunari, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
The Herald of Andraste. Okay.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing. They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste.
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading...
Which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, again, Art's a very humble Canary, so he doesn't really like a lot of fuss over. He doesn't really like a lot of fuss over him. So he's like, I don't know.
I'm not sure how I should feel.
The Chantry has decided that for you, it seems.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign.
And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
They aren't more concerned about the breach, the real threat?
They do know it's a threat, they just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse.
There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Where have I heard that? Giselle. I know I've heard that name in the Dragon Age lore, at some point. Sure, I'll talk to her.
I'll see what she has to say.
You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Nice.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
There's so much sexy in one room. So much. Oh, what do we have here? Operations. The war table allows you to apply the power of the Inquisition throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Mother Giselle is in the hinterlands, which can be found on the Ferelden side of the table. Oh, this is so cool. I've heard about this. The war table. Orlais, known for its culture of extravagant nobility, yet also as the birthplace of the Chantry.
Did you see the message I sent? Yes, thank you.
Guys, shh. I'm reading about the war table. Orlais is the most powerful human nation in Thedas. Ferelden, conquered by Orlais, torn by civil war, ravaged by the Fifth Blight, Ferelden is no stranger to hardship. With the veil weakened, the land is more turbulent than ever. I love how veil is, and you know, if you mix up the letters, is that anagram? Is that what an anagram is? When you mix up the letters, it spells evil. Inquisition perks and power. Okay, so that's the power of the Inquisition. The war table. The Inquisition can unlock new areas for you to explore through scouting operations. Perform the scouting operations for the hinterlands on the Ferelden side of the war table now. Okay, on the Ferelden side of the war table, which I guess is this glowing thing. Oh jeez, this is so awesome. Scout the hinterlands. Available, cost 1. Okay, I think that's what this power is. So power lets us open up new areas on the map. That's what I get. I get that. Scout the hinterlands. Mother Giselle was last seen in the hinterlands outside Redcliffe, tending refugees who fled the fighting between renegade Templars and apostate mages. The latest reports suggest that the vicious struggle between the two groups has spread to the hinterlands, catching the refugees and Mother Giselle in the middle. It is vital to protect her and, if possible, restore order to the area. Secrets. If Giselle dies, any hope of the Chantry support dies with her. My scouts will slip past the fighting, find her, and protect her with their lives. Connections. Not participating in the mission. Forces. Not participating in... Oh, wait a minute. I get it. So these are... Secrets is Leliana. Connections is Josephine, and Forces is Dreamy McDreamy Cullen. Okay, but for right now we only have one thing for Liliana. Okay, so we can't. That's pretty cool. I'm guessing what this means is that in the future, when you have other scouting missions, you can use different strategies of the scouting. So if we put secrets. Mages and stars. Oh, they're both getting hit. Okay, so that's our scout agents. Birds. Is that Mother Giselle? Scout the hinterlands. Inquisition scouting report. We avoided the fighting as best as we could. It's every bit as bad as we'd feared. The apostates are mad, attacking anything that moves, and it appears that the Templars here aren't following anyone's orders any longer. We located Mother Giselle and are trying to protect her, but she refuses to leave the refugees until we've ensured their safety. That will be hard to do without troops to push the apostates and the Templars out of the area. Commander Cullen asked me to make inquiries of Master Dennett, a retired horsemaster, horsemaster of Redcliffe, who lives in the area. We tried to contact him about obtaining better horses for the Inquisition, but we've been unable to get through the fighting. Lead Scout Harding. New area unlocked. Okay, nice. Thank you. Thank you, Harding. Would you like to gather a party and venture to the hinterland? No, we still have stuff to do. Not now. Operations. You now have access to missions. Mission operations take time and bring the Inquisition resources and rewards. Only one mission per advisor can be active at a time. Some missions have a preferred type, which results in less time required when undertaken by the associated advisor. Missions may also provide different rewards depending on which advisor completes them. That is so cool! Oh my gosh, this is awesome! Okay, so these are the different missions. Nobleman's Concerns, Terran of High Ever. We need power. Oh, all of these are available. Completed secrets. Rescue. Okay. Gather coin. Hard in Hardtown 3. Varric's Revenge. So do I want to necessarily... maybe I don't want to do these right at this moment. I might want to do these later. Contact with Valocas Mercenary. Oh, that makes sense because those are the mercenaries that I was from, I believe. Okay, this is really cool. Inquisition perks. In the perks menu, you can select perks that provide unique benefits to your party. The number of available perks points is shown at the bottom of the screen. Forces. Oh, hello, Colin. Detailed study of underworld knowledge. Detailed study of underworld customs and their brutal but practical applications. Opens up new dialogue options related to criminal activities and grants plus 50% XP for each codex entry unlocked. Forces. Endurance training fit for soldier. Okay, so these are all things you can do with Cullen. There's a lot of things I'd like to do with Cullen, but I have a feeling none of that's in here. we don't get those kind of perks, apparently, with Cullen. At least, not with a male. A methodology developed by Massach's method. A methodology developed by an Orlesian blade master and used by chevaliers to analyze their own performance in combat. Grants a 5% increase in XP earned from killing foes. Oh! Rider's posture. Training in proper weight distribution during hard riding significantly increases resistance to being unseated. Requirement 2 points needed in category. Antivan stitched saddle. Proper tack of fine Antivan leather, custom fitted to both horse and rider, significantly increases resistance to being unseated. Advanced focus. Increase maximum focus from 100 to 200. Second tier focus effects for abilities can now be triggered. Master focus. Increases maximum focus for all party members from 200 to 300. Third tier focus effects for abilities can now be triggered. True grit. Harsh environment training can be dangerous, but will harden anyone into a survivor. All party members gain a 10% increase to all defenses. Requirement, capture any keep. Oh. Huh. Okay. I can't unlock these yet. More healing potions. Increase the maximum number of potions the party can carry by 4. Mage schematics. Many mages from all over Thedas have joined the Inquisition, hoping for some degree of order and protection. Reverse engineering their robes and staves will provide new rare schematics. Rogue schematics. Many of Liliana's new agents bring gear from their previous employers. Gathering their collective gains will provide new rare schematics. Sell swords, Templars, Chevaliers, the Inquisition's forces come from wide-ranging backgrounds. Scour the troops' arms and armor for new rare schematics. Cool, thank you, Cullen. I will definitely be looking into these. Secrets with the lovely Leliana. Developing keen eyes and an inquisitive mind. For the Inquisition. Inquisitive. Arcane knowledge, a detailed study of magic and the places and creatures that interact with it. Opens up new dialogue options related to the Fade or Arcane studies. Grants plus 50% XP for each Codex entry unlocked. Optimal cutting. Detailed studies show how to get the maximum usable harvest from each plant. Grants a 10% chance to receive extra herbs with each harvest. Eagle-eyed. Training in scouting, in spotting where the pattern breaks in nature or in civilization, grants a significant increase to the discovery range of the searching action. Enhanced studies. Bolster the number of researchers working to study those who stand against the Inquisition. Grants an additional plus 50% XP for each foe studied, including those already completed, applied retroactively. Oh, that's nice, it's applied retroactively. Deft hands, fine tools. All the training, gear, and experience working with master locksmiths needed to tackle the toughest and most ingenious locking mechanisms. Allows all rogues in the party to open masterwork locks. I think I might want to use that. Forward scouts. With access to forward training camp, the Inquisition scouts can receive training to cover a wider area and identify items of interest to the Inquisitor. Reveals additional landmarks and points of interest on the maps of every area. Trainee herbalists gain a collection of tier 1 herbs. Veteran herbalists. Survival in harsh environments training will push Inquisition herbalists to gather more exotic and rare plants. As part of the training push, a large collection of uncommon herbs will be delivered for personal use. Required trainee herbalists. Master herbalists. Combat training, top-line equipment, and experience in both allow Inquisition herbalists to find the rarest specimens. A large collection of rare herbs will be delivered for personal use. See, I love this. I wasn't really sure how the advisors were being used. This is really cool. I'm really loving this. So this must be connections, training in the fine arts of persuasion, which is in the person, not necessarily the character, is more of my style. I'm more of a diplomatic, pen is mightier than the sword kind of person. And that reminds me, with Josephine here, it's time for us to add another character up on our wall. Okay, with that, Josephine Montilier is now up on our wall. So, yeah, we are filling that up pretty darn quickly. Nobility knowledge, detailed study of politics, rhetoric, and those who wield them to best effect, opens up new dialogue options related to nobles and politics. Sterling reputation. Thanks to a few well-placed acquaintances and a carefully crafted reputation, merchants will pay the Inquisition 10% more for items sold to them. A favor for a favor. From an expanding network of contacts among artisans, suppliers, and noble patrons, merchants will offer the Inquisition a 10% discount on their goods. That's pretty cool. Elite clientele. Every merchant wants to say they once did business with the Inquisition. The shops offer to buy and sell for 15% better prices. The rare stocks. Inquisition procurers can leverage the organization's reputation to purchase a shipment of rare and valuable raw materials for crafting. Exacting buyers. A little shrewd negotiation will allow Inquisition procurers to buy a shipment of high-quality materials for their craftsmen. Only the finest. A word to the right people, and our Inquisition procurers can bid at auction on the very highest quality, rare materials for their craftsmen. The short list. Merchants eager to win favor from the Inquisition will give access to special offers for rare inventory. Friends in high places. Where the Inquisition deigns to spend its coin, people take notice. Merchants will send messengers when they have sales at their stores in hopes the Inquisitor will put it in an appearance. This is awesome. I'm loving how this works. Just makes it feel like an actual. It really makes you feel like you are in charge of an organization, a very well-organized organization. Speaking of the organization, Inquisition. Improved coordination and infrastructure. History knowledge. Detailed study of Thetis' past. Opens up new dialogue options related to history and the Chantry. Grants an additional plus 50% XP each for each Codex entry found. Antivan tailoring. Antivan tailors are famed for their ability to hide pockets seamlessly in garments. A few words to Inquisition's friends to the north and its forces can carry more items in the field. Increases inventory capacity by 15. So this is like the backpacks, basically. Imperial Court Tailoring. The best tailors of Val Royeaux, experienced in the intricacies of the grand game, can add hidden compartments to armor and clothing, allowing even more items to be carried at once. Increases inventory capacity by 15. Tempered glass flasks. Better techniques in glass working make more durable flasks, allowing more potions to be carried safely at one time. Adds one more potion slot for all party members. Exclusive training. Gain 1 combat ability for the Inquisitor only. Ooh, 1 combat ability point for the Inquisitor only. Very nice. So that's the perks. So I don't know how you get perks, but I'm assuming you get it by doing stuff. Alright, well that's the War Room. That's pretty awesome. Activate quests by accessing your quest journal or by pressing J. Your active quest is tracked on the screen. Okay, I feel like there's a whole bunch of stuff in our codex. World travel. When not in a dungeon, you can use the quest map to travel to distant locations. Press M to open the quest. There's a lot of stuff in our codex that I want to... Oh, jump to map. Well, let me... Hold on. Let me look it through my codex first. Because we've got a lot. We've got Josephine Montelier. Seeker Cassandra. Josephine Montelier is a noble from the nation of Antiva. She was educated in Val Royeaux, where she built connections among the court. Once she finished her schooling at a surprisingly young age, Lady Montelier became the official diplomat between King Fulgeno of Antiva to Empress Celine of Orlais. The appointment suits her. She is well-traveled, familiar with many forms of etiquette, and by all accounts, a skilled negotiator. If that endorsement does not suffice, Josephine is a personal friend. I have faith in her. We require someone both influential and trustworthy to be an ambassador for the Inquisition. You cannot tell me you would prefer to take the job yourself. Nicely put, Leliana. Cullen. Truth is far worse. I would spare you that. What remains of Kirkwall's Templars have been under my command for the past few years. We have done what we could to assist with the city's recovery, to restore some semblance of order. But my time here is done. Seeker Patagast has approached me. She wishes to stop the war between mages. Oh, wait. Whatever you have heard of Kirkwall's rebellion, the truth is far worse. I would spare you that. What remains of Kirkwall's Templars have been under my command for the past few years. We have done what we could to assist the city's recovery, to restore some semblance of order, but my time here is done. Seeker Pentagast has approached me. She wishes to stop the war between mages and Templars. She has been recruiting men and women to the cause and wishes me to oversee the group's military concerns. If the conclave goes well, then we will not be needed. If not, we stand ready. I have decided to take Seeker Pentagast's offer. The circles have fallen. I can give no more to the Templar Order, nor it to me. The Maker has shown me a new path, and I must take it. Excerpt from a letter sent to Southreach by Commander Cullen. Very nice. I'm just making sure I didn't skip anything. I think I already did High Chancellor Roderick. Leliana. She has many names. Most know her as Sister Leliana, or the Nightingale. Some refuse to speak her name at all, referring to her only as the left hand of the divine, the shadow behind the sunburst throne. The spymaster Marjolaine trained Leliana from a young age. For years, Leliana was Marjoleine's instrument in the great game of Orlais. While Leliana was devoted to Marjolaine, the reverse was not true. Marjolaine betrayed Leliana and almost succeeded in killing her. Leliana survived the betrayal, thanks to Reverend Mother Dorothea, who became Justinia V, the late Justinia V. Following this betrayal, Leliana spent several years in a cloister in Ferelden, hiding from her past. Inspired by Reverend Mother Dorothea, Leliana dedicated herself to her faith, discovering peace in a simple life of devotion. But when the Fifth Blight began, she received what she believed a vision from the Maker. This prompted her to leave her sanctuary, taking up arms against the Darkspawn. Several years after the defeat of the Archdemon, Leliana received a summons from Dorothea, now Divine Justinia V. She returned to Orlais to become an agent of the Sunburst Throne. Justinia perished in the explosion that destroyed the Divine Conclave, and Leliana became a founding member and spymaster of the New Inquisition. Go, Leliana. Crafting materials. Spindleweed. It is an old country saying that spindleweed grows best for the sorrowful. Verdant spindleweed in a household's garden has often brought neighbors offering consolation, usually without even asking what might be wrong. This originates from the plant's use as a seasoning for dishes meant to speed the recovery of the infirm. A person who grows much of it is likely caring for the fatally ill. An excerpt from the Botanical Compendium by Inez Arxania, botanist. I've already done Chantry Hierarchy, founding of the Chantry, the Qunari, Rebel Mages. Whereas the Circle was established not merely to protect the world from mages, but also to allow mages to practice their art safely and without fear. And, whereas under Lord Seeker Lambert's command, Lambert, the Templars sworn to protect all people, including mages, from the harmful effects of magic, have instead persecuted mages with such biased judgment as to worsen the problems they were meant to mitigate. And, whereas the Rite of Tranquility, intended as a tool of last resort to stop uncontrolled mages from hurting themselves or others, has instead been used for punitive and political purposes to silence dissent and inhibit civilized disclosure. And, whereas Andraste herself intended the relationship between mage and Templar to be one of practitioner and protector, not prisoner and jailer, and this contract has been broken, leaving mages in fear for their lives from those sworn to protect them. Now, therefore, the Circle of Magi declares the following. We, the mages of Ferelden and Orlais, do hereby dissolve the circles and renounce our sworn submission to the Order of the Templars, effective immediately. We reiterate Andraste's assertion that magic was made to serve man, not rule over him, and state unequivocally that we will use our abilities only to defend ourselves from those who would see us relinquish our lives and freedoms under the presumption of guilt for crimes we have not committed. We condemn those practitioners of magic who, through illness of mind or understandable but misguided anger at those who oppress them, would use their maker-given powers to threaten innocent lives, and we pledge to aid any legitimate and impartial government in bringing these lawless apostates to justice. We look earnestly to a future of cooperation between all people of Thedas, free from persecution and prejudice, and hope to build a better world alongside all who approach us with friendship instead of fear. Yours in service to Andraste and the Maker, the Free Mages of Thedas, a leaflet distributed in towns and villages across Orlais and Ferelden. See, that actually is a really nicely well-written document. Propaganda, if you really want to call it that. Reading that, it sounds pretty reasonable to me. Seems awfully reasonable. The Templar Order. End of an accord. Most holy, the Seekers are well aware of the part you played in the rebellion. You call me to the Grand Cathedral in the middle of the night on urgent business, only to speak of trivial matters. And then when I return to the White Spire, I have a feeling this is Sir Lambert. And then when I return to the White Spire, I discover chaos, and one of your agents in the midst of the apostates. Did you think I would not notice? Did you believe yourself above repercussions for such acts? It was a dark day when the Chantry placed such an incapable woman upon the sunburst throne. I will not stand idle and watch you destroy what ages of tradition and righteousness have built. In the 20th year of the Divine Age, the Navaran Accord was signed. The Seekers of Truth lowered our banner and agreed to serve as the Chantry's right hand, and together we created the Circle of Magi. With the Circle of No More, I hereby declare the Accord null and void. Neither the Seekers of Truth nor the Templar Order recognize Chantry authority, and instead we will perform the Maker's work as it was meant to be, as we see fit. Signed this day in the 40th year of the Dragon Age. And yep, I was right, Lord Seeker Lambert von Reeves. Letter sent to Divine Justinian from the former Lord Seeker. Blah, blah, blah. The Templar Order. Traditional role. Often portrayed as stoic and grim, the Order of Templars was created as the martial arm of the Chantry, armed with the ability to dispel and resist magic in addition to their formidable combat talents. Templars are uniquely qualified to act as both a foil for apostates, mages who refuse to submit to the authority of the Circle, and a first line of defense against the dark powers of blood mages and abominations. While mages often resent the Templars as symbols of the Chantry's control over magic, the people of Thedas see them as saviors and holy warriors, champions of all that is good, armed with piety enough to protect the world from devastation, to unite all people within our nations, to protect the evils of force. Yeah, whatever. In reality, the Chantry's militant arm looks first for skilled warriors with unshakable faith in the Maker. With a flawless moral center as a secondary concern. Templars must carry out their duty with an emotional distance, and the Order of the Templar prefers soldiers with religious fervor and absolute loyalty over paragons of virtue who might question orders when it comes time to make difficult choices. The Templars' power derived from the substance lyrium, a mineral believed to be the raw element of creation. While mages use lyrium in their arcane spells and rituals, Templars ingest the primordial mineral to enhance their abilities to resist and dispel magic. Lyrium use is regulated by the Chantry, but effects of which include paranoia, obsession, and dementia. Templars knowingly submit themselves to this treatment in service of the Order and the Maker. It is in this sense of ruthless piety that most frightens mages when they draw the Templars' attention. When the Templars are sent to eliminate a possible blood mage, there is no reasoning with them, and if the Templars are prepared, the mage's magic is all but useless. Driven by their faith, the Templars are one of the most feared and respected forces in Thedas. From Patterns Within formed by Halden, First Enchanter of Starkhaven, 880 Blessed. Meow, that's right. History. A Study of the Fifth Blight, Volume 1. While some of my contemporaries dispute whether the Fifth Blight was a true blight or merely a large darkspawn resurgence, historians agree that it began in the swamps of the Korkari Wilds on the southeastern border of Ferelden in the year 930 Dragon Age. King Kaelin Theron was swift in responding to the threat, gathering the royal army, every Grey Warden in his country, and sending a call for aid to the Ferelden nobility. The assembled armies laid a trap in the ruins of Ostagar, hoping to crush the force before it reached civilization. But they failed. Darkspawn overran the defenders of Ostagar and decimated the king and his army. They continued their advance to Ferelden unopposed. Only 2 Grey Wardens managed to escape the slaughter, and somehow they came into possession of ancient treaties which compelled the races of men to join arms against the massing horde. The surviving Wardens made their way to Kinloch Hold, home of the Ferelden Circle, and conscripted the mages. In desperation to find more allies, the Wardens journeyed into the Brazilian forest, seeking the Dalish. The elves, too, joined the growing army. Into the deep roads, the surviving Wardens went searching for Paragon Branca, in hopes she could settle the unrest in Orzammar and unite the dwarves in the battle against the Archdemon. Branca could not be located, but another Paragon was found, the legendary Caradin, who forged a crown that ended all question of succession. Balin Idukin was crowned king of Orzammar, and the dwarven armies marched for the surface. Despite their successes, though, greater challenges were yet to come. From A Study of the Fifth Blight by Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. The Wardens sought Arl Eamon, uncle of the late King Kaelin, in the hopes of mustering troops from the Ferelden nobility. Upon arriving in Redcliffe, they learned that the Arl had fallen ill and was near death. His knights had gone in pursuit of the fabled ashes of Andraste, Eamon's only hope for a cure, and the village surrounding the keep was beset by a host of animated corpses. The Warden found and stopped the demon behind the undead before joining the search for Eamon's cure. No one is certain if the Wardens actually located the final resting place of Our Lady Andraste, but whatever they found saved the Arl of Redcliffe. Upon his recovery, Eamon Gwerin called for a landsmeet, and he and the Wardens traveled to Denerim. The gathered lords and ladies of Ferelden found Taran Logain guilty of a number of crimes and sentenced him to execution. Furthermore, the landsmeet granted the vacant throne to Honora, widow of King Kaelin. The nobility then pledged their own armies in the battle against the Blight. The Archdemon clashed with the allied forces at the city of Denerim and was eventually slain, but at terrible cost. Much of the city lay in ruin. The warden who rallied the armies was named the Hero of Ferelden and accorded the highest honor. The Fifth Blight ended before most of Thedas knew it had begun, but it left a terrible wound on Ferelden. The losses suffered at Ostagar and Denerim greatly compromised the security of the kingdom. Southern Ferelden from the Korkari Wilds to the edge of the Benorn are to this day a wasteland. It's uncertain how far the ripples from this event shall travel, or what waves it has already stirred. From A Study of the Fifth Blight by the Sister Petrine, Chantry Scholar. Awesome. The First Inquisition. Well, this will be interesting. The birth of the Chantry took place more than 9 years ago. The mists of time have obscured once well-known facts. It is commonly believed the Chantry alone created the Templars and the Circle of Magi. Few recall there was ever an Inquisition. Those who do believe it predated the Chantry, hunting cultists and mages in a reign of terror ending only upon its transformation into the Templar Order. This is not quite the truth. One must keep in mind the state of Thedas prior to the Chantry's creation, a world where the only source of order, the Tevinter Imperium, had fallen apart. People blamed magic for the death of Andraste, the blight, the terror they saw every day, and not without reason. Abominations and demons rampaged the countryside. No one was safe. Disparate groups of men and women initially formed the Seekers of Truth, determined to reestablish order because no one else would do what was necessary. The truth they sought, the question they tried to answer, was how to restore the sanity in a world gone mad. Was theirs a reign of terror? Perhaps. Evidence suggests they were as vigilant in their protection of mages as they were of regular people. When they intervened, they convened an ad hoc trial to determine the guilty party. This even application of justice led to their poor reputation. The Seekers came down against every group at one time or another, their Inquisition gaining notoriety for being on no one's side but their own. They considered themselves good people, however, followers of the Maker's true commandments. This was never more evident than when they laid down their banner in support of the fledgling Chantry. They believed with all their heart that the Templar Order was the answer a desperate Thedas needed in a terrible time. Ultimately, the Inquisition was composed of independent idealists, not Chantry zealots. That is the truth. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Gentivi. It's interesting to see these perspectives of these organizations from different people, you know? Spirits and demons. When I first summoned her, she was a rose, unwithering, unchanging, and unthroned. A spirit of the purest love one knows, who never hated, coveted, or scorned. The second time I drew her across the veil and shared a walk, a dance, a stolen kiss. With such a perfect beauty, pure and pale, no woman could compare, no man resist. Then in my weakness I essayed a third, though magisters their warnings did impart. She broke my binding with a single word, and said this smiling as she clutched my heart. Though love I was, your passions change fire, has forged the spirit into cruel desire. Sonnet 126, The Lover and His Spirit, from A Chant for Dreamers by Magister Horatius. The Hinterlands. My Lord Arl Tegan. Oh, this is for Ban Tegan. I retired to the hinterlands for peace and quiet away from the politics, and because the wide open spaces were perfect to let my horses run. Instead, the war between the mages and the Templars has turned your beautiful hills into a series of burning battlefields. The farmers who live in the hinterlands are good folk. Many of them left Redcliffe because they couldn't bear to be there anymore, not after the Blight and the Walking Dead left so many bad memories. Now we've got apostates running around setting fire to anyone who looks at them sideways, and Templars looting houses and cutting down those who protest as mage sympathizers. My wife, Elena, sent off our field hands to stay with her family in the east, but there are a lot of poor people here with nowhere to go. We get more refugees every day, this village attacked by mad mages or what farmstead burned to the ground by Templars who can't tell a hoe from a staff. I suppose you're stretched thin, but anything you can do to lessen this burden of these poor folk would be much appreciated. I'll do as I can, and if your men need better mounts, say the word. Best of luck to you, my lord. Remember not to let Duchess puff out her gut when you saddle her. Yours in service, Danette. A letter from Redcliffe's former horsemaster to Arl Tegan of Redcliffe, undelivered. Resources found here: elf roots, spindleweed, blood lotus, crystal grace, royal elf root, deep mushroom, emberium, iron, drakestone, onyx, obsidian. Oh my gosh. That's going to be pretty awesome to visit. Wow, there's a lot of tales here. Enchanters. Enchanters, the time has come to be alive, with a circle of magi where we will thrive with our brothers. Enchanters remind that time will not unwind, the dragon's crooked spine will never straighten to line. Our plea will, this is the song from the tavern, I think. Our plea will be a faithful end decree, where a man will not retreat from the defeat of his fathers. Enchanters, a time has come for battle lines. We will cut these knotted ties, and some may live and some may die. Enchanter, come to me. Enchanter, come to me. Enchanter, come to see. Can a you come to see? As you once were blind, in the light now you can sing. In our strength we can reply, and history will not repeat. As performed by the bard Meriden Halliwell. I remember their song Meriden. It was beautiful. Notorious raider trash. You want to know about my raider friends, huh? What in the world would make a goody-goody like you poke your nose in such a dirty business? Well, there's good Sir Thaddeus, of course. Some people say he runs the Armada. He doesn't. No one does. The Armada is a collection of ships, and each one is like a nation unto itself. Its own rules, its own people, its own leader. Thaddeus is respected, of course. You don't sink a half a dozen Orlesian frigates without earning at least some respect. He's a dangerous man, but he's no king of the Armada. Anyone tells you that, you're lying or misinformed. Then there's Lachlan Poole. Likes to sail around the southern cape of Ravane, rattling his spear and posturing like it means something. No one really cares what Lachlan Poole does, though only a fool will say that to his face. You see, the thing about Lachlan Poole is he's got gold. Lots of it. All earned through legitimate means, even. He still has a trading company somewhere in the marches and hires people to run it while he plays adventurer in the high seas. The Armada lets him do it because it always pays to have friends with coin. The one you should really watch out for is the Ianto. They call him the Talon, the terror of Lomerin. But most often, that crooked punk that might kill you in your sleep. Slavery, murder, torture. Nothing is too much for Ianto. He'd traffic in souls if he discovered a way to extract them from the people. In fact, I'm sure he has some Tevinter cronies working on that right this second. I'm sure there's coin to be made in stolen souls somewhere. The Imperium, probably. Yeah, Isabella, self-proclaimed queen of the Eastern Seas. I was like, I remember Ianto. And yeah, these names are very familiar. Okay. Yeah, I remember, yeah, these are all the stories that I've already read. Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Cool. And tutorials, I'm assuming a lot of these tutorials we've already read, like world travel, war table. Yeah, we've already read those. Researcher, yeah. Apothecary, find recipes through exploration by visiting merchants. Okay. Potion upgrading and crafting. Yeah, we got all this. Alright. This is a little bit longer than normal, guys, but I just wanted to get through all the codexes. But yeah, thanks guys for watching this episode of Gay Let's Play Dragon Age Inquisition. Tune in next time, everybody, and until then, love yourselves and love each other.